Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. I just want to thank you, all of you who listen regularly to our show. Thank you very much, and to all of you who comment as well as to like our videos. Sometimes I won't be able to respond to some of the comments because I'll be busy recording again other episodes. There is a message that I want to share with you. If you do not want to use your phone number when you are reaching out to us, you can go to our Facebook page at Brother Nashi. Then you can share your confession with us. The message that I'm going to be reading for you, I'm busy searching for it on Facebook, and it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my story as anonymous? I am a South African woman. I am 22 years old and I am a Xhosa speaking woman. I used to date a very rich VendaMan ever since I was 16 years old. He then took me to a cave in Limpopo, and from there on, that was when we broke up. I think he had finished using me. I am 22 years old, born in Butterworth. I came to Joburg to stay with my auntie and for school stuff. For honesty, school is not what I really cared about. There was a guy whom I met at a club. He was a Venda guy. Yes, I was only 16, but I had already started going to clubs. I met him at a lounge in Senton. He was very nice. He spoke with me in a very nice way. His name, I'll call him Rendani. What I liked about him was that he was not always flashy about money, even though he had so much money. But when you were around him, if he did not tell you that he had money, you would think that he did not have anything. He gave me one of his car to drive around with, even though I was still very young. You won't even believe me when I tell you that I even drove back home with one of his white Amarok, and I did not even have a license. When he told me that I can use the car, I said, what if I get arrested driving without a license? That was when he said that in Venda they have powerful muti that you can use, you won't even get arrested. He then gave me a soap. He said that this soap, it was made from this other tree. I don't remember the name anymore. He said whenever you want to go out, if you just use this soap, you can drive to wherever you want to go to. No one will even stop you. And I would always do that and carry it with me in my handbag, driving without even a license, and nothing would even happen to me. I was still very young and I was his baby girl, even though I was underage and he was way older than I was. But my auntie was struggling a lot. She did not even have a house in Joburg, and I was the one that was assisting him to pay rent, food, and one of her child who was also in college, my cousin sister, I assisted them with money whenever there were NSFAS delays, and I was taking care of her family, including my family back home. It was more like I was now the breadwinner. I did not know that this man that I was dating, he was using powerful charms. He would give me brand new gifts now and then. Within a month, this man, he bought for me an iPhone, Brazilian wigs, cosmetics. He paid my school fees and stuff. But I never went to school because I was making a lot of money anyway with the money that he was giving to me. Every time my friends that I had started befriending, they asked me, why was I so lucky that I can date a man that have so much money and a man that is willing to spend so much money on me? And I would say, I don't know. I really do not know. Maybe you should stop asking me why God has blessed me, and you can start praying as well for a good man like him. And whenever I would say that, I would feel guilty, and at the same time, it made me to feel good. I even asked him and I said, Rendani, why me? Why did you choose me? Look at my age and your age. You mean that in your circle of friends, don't you have other women that are rich as wealthy as you are that you can date? Why are you taking this risk of dating a 16-year-old? He would touch my hand and he would say, I like your energy. You are so beautiful. And he would always repeat that statement, I like your energy. When he was on top of me, when we would be sleeping together, he would always say, oh, your energy. I like your energy. I did not even understand what he meant whenever he would say, you are so clean and innocent, until the night when he took me to Limpopo. He told me that we were going to Polokwane to see his mom, but around 11 p.m. we drove past Polokwane and I was so tired and I was sleeping. When I woke up, then I saw that we were no longer in Polokwane. We were close to Louis Richard according to the GPS on his dashboard. I then asked him what we were going to do in Venda. He then told me that he wanted me to go and meet his friends. He was like, I want you to see my roots. And I said, okay, it's fine. He was so calm. It made me to feel so uncomfortable. We arrived at this other village. When we arrived there that night, we slept. He told me that it was at his older sister's house. But the next day, when we woke up, as a normal person, when I was looking at that woman whom he was saying that was older than he was, I refused to believe him. Even in my heart, I did not tell him that I did not believe that this woman that I was looking at, it was his elder sister, but I chose to remain quiet. We stayed there for half a day. Then he said that there was this other place where we were supposed to go to in another village. We drove for about an hour or so. And then we arrived in this village. It was in a mountainous area. There were mountains everywhere. In that village, even people, they have their homes on top of the mountains. When we arrived at this other house, even though he lied that it was his cousin brother, but I could tell that we were at a Sangoma's house. We were then given a room. It was nice, but we were sleeping on the floor. Then at night, that was when he woke me up and he told me that there were other things that he wanted me to assist him with. We then got out and we went to this other mud hut. It was a very beautiful one, not like those old ones. It had a modern design. When we arrived there into that room, I then saw that his so-called brother was wearing traditional clothes like a sangoma, and inside there were other herbs inside the clay pot that he was told to eat. As he was eating, I saw those green herbs changing and becoming like little green snakes. I was scared. I wanted to scream and run away, but I felt as if there was something that was holding me, that was telling me that I was not even supposed to shift from where I was sitting. I was supposed to sit proper and not to move. So after he had finished eating, it was already late. He then said that we were supposed to get into the car with other two guys and another woman. He started driving. As they were directing him, we then got into the mountain. The car could not go any further. Then we started to walk on foot, and he said, whatever you hear in this mountain or you see, do not scream, because this is a forbidden mountain. He then said to me, in that mountain, there was a cave where we were headed to, where he get all of his blessings. Since he was into a business of doing tenders, he said that he used spiritual blessings so that when he submit his documents, even if there are other companies that deserve to get the tender to fix a road, his documents somehow will be the one that will be chosen, and his company will find favor, even if it happens without him not using any money to pay any bribe. And this was what he had to do at all the times before he submit documents. He said, can you see this envelope that I am holding? He had a brown envelope that he had, and he said that In the envelope, there were other pictures, for he had managed to secure the pictures of the people that select the companies that were going to be chosen to get a tender for the tender that he had been bidding. These were people that were working in the government, and he was going to leave the pictures in there. So when he would have left the documents and the pictures of those people, when they look at his documents, they will connect and they will choose his company. We walked maybe for about 30 minutes until we managed to reach at the top of the mountain. It was not like at the top of the mountain, but it was close to the top of the mountain. He then said, "Can you see?" And I saw that there was an opening and it was a cave, but it was as if in front of that cave there was someone that was sitting, like an old man that was sitting there. He then started moving slowly into the cave. It was as if he was as slow as a tortoise. Slowly he made his way into the cave, and when he walked inside, that was when I saw a bright light, as if there was a star that had exploded, and it started to fade a little bit until the light disappeared. By the time that we got inside, I saw that there were candles that were burning, and I did not see those candles. I only saw a light, and it looked as if it was a candle, as if there was someone that had lit those candles. Inside the cave were clay pots, calabashes, bird feathers, old animal skins, a fire burning, but there was no smoke, and there was a smell like burnt herbs that were mixed with blood. He removed his shirt, and those people that were with us, they started to mark his body on his chest area, and they removed his trousers. He was naked, and then he was taken close to where the clay pots were. I saw a snake that was moving on his back. I was so scared. I wanted to walk out, and when I wanted to walk out, that was when I saw an animal that I can't even properly describe. But this animal, it seemed as if it was a lion that was walking outside, and I was scared to go out. I wanted to collapse. That woman that was with us, she was told to do something to me by the other man that was also with us. And then she came and she touched me on my left breast, and she squeezed me tight, and I felt something that entered into my chest. And she told me to relax, and I was not supposed to say anything. He knelt down and he started to speak in Venda. I could not understand the things that he was saying, and I saw that inside the fire there was something that was coming out, as if it was a big worm that had its mouth wide open. It then started to swallow that brown envelope that had the printed documents, his company documents, and other stuff. I don't know, the things that they submit when they want to bid for a tender. They were all inside there. They were the photocopies of the original documents, and then it started to swallow those documents. As for the pictures of the people that he later told me that these were the people that were working in the government that sort out the companies that are supposed to get the tender and those that make the decisions. He then gave those pictures to the man that was leading the ritual, and then that man threw those pictures into the clay pot, and I saw that there was smoke that started to come out. And the snake that was hanging on his back, that snake also dived into that clay pot, and then everything was normal, as if this whole thing did not even happen. To someone, it might seem as if it is unreal, but you won't even believe me if I tell you that this whole ritual, when it happened, it took less than 3 minutes. The whole movie was done. And then he looked at me and he said, "It is time, let us go." He started wearing his clothes, but it was as if he was scared of something. Even the people that we were with, it was as if they were scared of something that was also inside the cave, or something that was going to come inside. They quickly dressed him, and he was even holding his sandals. He did not even have the time to wear them. When we were going down the mountain, they were literally dragging me because I was unable to navigate as we were going down the mountain. And when I looked back, I then saw an old man that was also entering into the cave, and I said, maybe this is the man that they were scared of. When we arrived at where we had left the car, I was shaking, and then he said, now it's fine, you can scream as much as you want to scream. And I asked him, what is it that had happened inside that cave? And he said, no, you do not have to ask anything. Fast forward, we then returned back to Gauteng. I blocked Rendani on everything, on all of my social platforms. I blocked him because I had seen him for whom he was, and I returned his car back. My auntie even tried to talk to me on his behalf because he still wanted me, but I said I do not want, because I knew what I saw. He begged me, he apologized, even bought my brother, the eldest in the family. He traveled back to where I come from, and he went with my brother to a dealership, and he bought a vehicle for my brother, saying that he wanted to marry me, but I refused, and I said I do not want. My mom, she cursed me, and she said, you are a prostitute. That is what you want to become. You do not want to have a stable home. But I said, I'm not going to tell my mom the things that Rendani did to me when we went to strengthen his business. I don't want anything to do with him. I do not care even if he buys my brother a car. I'm not going to change my mind, for I know what I saw. Since that night, for the next 3 years, I would be dreaming of snakes almost each and every week. I would wake up and my body will be shaking as if I had been working very hard throughout the night. And I was once suicidal after he had tried to reach out to me, and I told him that I did not want him in my life anymore. And then guess what? You know what he said? He said, well, since you are no use, then why must you continue living? And I was suicidal until I went to church. I went to a church and I was assisted by a Ghanaian prophet who said to me, I was almost used in a covenant. And the worst part about it, you know, I don't have money right now. When I am broke, it becomes hard. Sometimes I miss him. I miss the lifestyle, the money, and everything that he gave to me. But whenever I think about what happened when he took me to his village, I do not want to be close to that guy. Even right now, I feel as if I am so old, as if he took something from me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister through Facebook. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you are afraid that we will share your phone numbers on social media, try to reach out to us, even using a ghost account on TikTok, or you can do so via our Facebook page. And please do not delete your message, because there are a lot of messages that go through the Facebook page. So please do not delete your messages. And to those sangomas that say that they sell tokologies, no, we do not want to sell tokologies to other people, because it will also give us problems later on in the future once those people start to sacrifice those that are innocent. So there are other healers that have been saying that they want a platform so that they can be able to sell their tokologies to other people. What if things go wrong? Then those people will come and they will blame us as well. So we do not want to be a platform where people sell their tokologies. Let us meet again in the following episode.